Hi guys, welcome to the Digital Media Academy's creature class. Today we're going to be making creatures, so I've opened up the creature start Maya folder that was file that was provided in your folders. And we have a scene set up and it's already going to have some orthographic views, front and side. Do not have a top. There is one in there if you want to import that. If you've been through our character class, you're well familiar with how to do that. I find that it usually gets in the way unless I'm doing something that's really top heavy, like a spider or something that's a little bit more recognizable from the top view. Okay, so we have this creature set up, and we're going to start exactly like we did with the characters. We're going to start with the body in this lecture, and then move on to the arms and legs, or the forearms, forelegs. The head, we can do a couple little accoutrements like the teeth, the fangs, the tongue, and the scales, the little spine portions. But to start out, we're just going to go up here to create, polygon primitives, and cylinder. We'll choose the option box. We want to set this to a radius of 1, a height of 1, the axis, give it 14, height divisions 1, cap divisions 0. Our axis, since this is a Z up file, we're going to want to make the axis a Y, so it comes in pointed through the front of the scene. So we'll hit apply. This guy is really small. We'll hit close here on that window. All right, so remember from our character modeling course, or if you haven't taken that before, the short keys are Q is your selection key, so you can select things with that. W is move, get the little arrows. E is rotate, you get a little circle. R is scale. Okay. So for us, we're going to start with R, and we're going to scale this up pretty big. And W, we're just going to move it up. Now we want to cut this in half. Right now, if you see, we don't have a point that's really going to serve as our halfway point. So we can hit E, and we can start moving this around. And let's see here. Really, this should be at negative 13.5. And just so we have a point on the top, point at the bottom. Okay, so the 13 degrees. And then we're going to want to split this in half a little bit. And the way we do that, same thing as in the character, we go up to Edit Mesh, and we go down to Interactive Split Tool. And we're just going to, I'm going to open up the tools, this little wrench icon here. I'm going to make sure that we can strain it to the edges. Snap magnets is 1, magnet tolerance. Let's go up here to 100 or 10. And that way if I click and snap, I make sure that I get those middle parts. Oops, Control Z if that didn't work. Let's switch our rotate, depending on the angle that you're getting these things. There we go. There we go. Just depends on the angle. It looks like I might have been hitting the back end of that accidentally through. We do want to make sure that we hold Alt, left mouse key, wheel it around, and we want to hit the back side as well. So hit Y to bring that tool back up. Click once, click twice. There we go. We can press F11 on our keyboard to switch face, or we can right click and go to face mode. We're going to delete that entire side. Alright, now we can begin to start shaping this. So I'm going to hit F9, and I'm just going to cycle these around a little bit. Place those down there. Let's hit E, rotate these around. W, move them pretty much where they're supposed to be. And just keep doing that. Select them all, R. Let's scale those guys down to about there. And we can see that he's going to be a little thinner, so we can grab a couple of these, just start moving them. Looks like my Move tool in the front's not working that well. And that's okay. Let me take a look and see if I just need a new front model. Yeah. There we go. Just creating a new orthographic view and then setting yourself back to the old one can kind of fix some of these manipulator issues that are happening. Okay, so let's select those again. Yeah, we'll just kind of push them in using the perspective view. Okay, and I'm going to start moving some of the points around to match up with our orthographic view. And this guy should go here. Don't mind the big bold lines. Remember, those are empty edges from where the large face we're going to be extruding to create the body are. Those will disappear. Don't be too concerned with it. Good, good. And this guy down a little further. Probably down. All right, so we've got kind of this half a pear shape. And we're going to switch ourselves over to face mode. Okay, right click, face. And let's do the back side. First, we'll select this back edge, or I'm sorry, this back face. We are going to go up to Edit Mesh, Extrude, hit W on the keyboard, and just from the side view, let's go ahead and hit W, move that down, maybe rotate it a little bit, and then hit W again. Okay, hit G to repeat the command, hit W. We're going to move this to this division we see on the tail. Okay, we'll be cutting out a hole for the leg, but we want to get the basic form of the geometry there. So G, W, pull that out to our next division on the tail. And for this guy in the side view, we're going to scale these down a bunch. Rotate that around a little bit. Hit G and then W again. Let's bring them out for the tail. R, scale that down a bit. G, W, and pull them down. Notice that we were wanting to rotate. Keep your edge flow pretty much the same as in our orthographic drawings. Hitting R, scale it. That's going to mess up our rotation. So just want to rotate that around again. And hit G, W, one more time, bring it out, down, E, R, and W, pull that back a little bit. So G, W, pull this guy straight out, E, bring it around there, W, and R. One more time, G, W, bring that out a little bit, and R, scale that guy down. Okay, so for this last extrusion, it's not so much an extrusion as it is we're pulling that center vertex all the way out to get the end of the tail. So in our perspective view, we can see we're going to have to do some shaping because obviously that tail is not quite that wide. All right, so we'll have to do some shaping from the front of the top view, and that will be during your work time. But to get that center vertex with this face, we're going to come up here to Mesh, and we're going to go down to our, Edit Mesh and our poke face. And it's a little late at night. Here's our poke face. Okay, so for this guy, what we want is we want all of these edges, I'm sorry, this vertex out towards the middle edge. So let's switch ourselves to face mode, and we're going to delete that center pie face. We're going to switch on to the inside here, and we're going to delete all these interior faces. When we sew this guy together, we do not want these interior faces. Looks like we have a interesting thing going on there, but we're going to select all these guys and delete them as well. Something interesting going on with my extrusion. Should not happen for you guys. Let's take a look here and see. I'm going to F9, just select everything. Gonna fix that by going up to Edit Mesh and Merge. There we go, that's about right. And I'm gonna take a look at my Extrude. Okay, so nothing's wrong with the vertex. Let's switch ourselves to face mode. And there we go. All right, so someone was using this computer before me, and they had a little unusual setting, so I'm going to go and reset the settings there. There we go. So your settings for Extrude should be the same on your computer. Should be one division. That was what was causing an issue. Okay, so we're going to go ahead here and close on that. All right, and back to the lesson. Grab that center vertex. Gonna come over here into center view, and I'm off the line a little bit. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna hit W, hold X, and snap him to the center line. And the exact same thing for this center line of the actual object is, for this case, I'm gonna go to F10 and hold X and just snap that to the center line. There we go, that's a lot better. So this line as well, we can come down here and we can move that more towards the center line. Okay, and we can do our shaping that way. Most important thing though is for that vertice to be on your center. Okay. Now let's get a little bit of the front here. So switching ourselves back over into face mode. We are going to go up to our Edit Mesh, Extrude, and always check. I forgot this time, but always check. Make sure your extrudes are at the default. If you ever need to reset that, Edit, Reset Settings. Grab a little soda, get some caffeine going here. Alright, so we'll extrude that. Hit W. We're going to do the same series for the front of the chest. We're just going to move him up a little bit, scale and rotate as necessary, and hit G, W, once again, move him up. There's a division line there. It's right where that final spikes on his back is. Hit G, W, and we're gonna move that around to about the center of his back. This one will be rotated a little forward. And maybe sized up just a little bit. And this is where his neck's starting to come in, so we're only going to do one more division and get where his neck is. So G, W, move that forward. Okay. So the only thing that we need to do now is delete all these interior faces. So you can blow that top away. We're going to be creating the head starting with the eye through the polystrip method, so you don't need that base of the neck anymore. Okay, delete the interior face. And we've got kind of a iguana shape going on here, but you're going to want to go ahead, switch yourself to vertex mode, and start moving the points to match up. Okay, move those around here. I'm going to pause the video, take about 15 minutes, get this formed, and we'll be right back. Okay, so I've pushed and pulled, uh, gotten some of the topology just a little mapped out. Left a little flat place here. If we look here in the side view, left a little flat place here for the leg to be extruded out and the arm to be extruded out. We're going to be taking this front collar, extruding once more to get the base of the neck and just get a little enclosed area for that arm to come out of. And then the tail, I thought better of just pulling out that. We'll get it a little bit more comfortable for sculpting. So what we're going to do is we're going to come in here to face mode, and we're going to select those faces, blow them away. Switch to our edge tool, our edge mode. We're going to select just these edges around the outside there. Going to extrude, hit W, and let's zoom in here pretty far. And we're going to pull in a little bit, R, shrink that down. Hit A, we're going to extrude one more time out to the very edge of the tail and shrink that down. Now we've got some gaps here, and that's okay. We want this little band around the tail. It's going to make it easier to sculpt on, give us four-sided rather than a bunch of drives coming together. That can get a little clunky in Mudbox. So we're going to switch to our Append to Poly tool, and we're just going to append from top to bottom, top to bottom, top to bottom. Give ourselves 3 new faces. That way these edge loops still continue to run around the entire area. Okay, and then we're going to go through here. Before we delete these faces to prepare for our arms and legs, we're going to extrude one more time. So select one at the top, one at the bottom, A, hit W, push that out a little bit. All right, and we are now ready to go ahead and select our faces here. Okay, we can delete those. And we can select these 3 faces here. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And if I switch to my edge mode, that also has 8. So we're going to be creating 8-sided cylinders and attaching them just like we did through the human sculpting session. Okay, so we just need to give ourselves a little kind of making a bodysuit for the creature there. All right, and that is our torso. We'll stop that here, and when we get back, we'll start on the legs.